All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Golfballing YouTube channel. The captain's picks came out earlier today for the Ryder Cup, which is in just a couple of weeks. I'm going to kind of break it down, give you guys my opinion and a rundown of it. If you guys want more of this, we do have a podcast. We record twice a week on it. We're up to 134 episodes. The link to that's in the bio, the socials, all that good stuff is in the bio of this video. Now, if you listen to our podcast, I think you know where I stand. My two other co-hosts, they're a little bit more Team USA. I'm a little bit pro-Europe. I don't know what it is, but there's just something every year about Europe's golf team that just does it for me. I think mainly it's because Rory McIlroy will always be my favorite golfer ever. I think this year will be the same, to be quite honest with you. If you are a diehard USA fan, I'm sorry. I think Europe's going to take the cake again. Now, Steve Stricker is obviously the U.S. captain, and I think that majority of Ryder Cup fans, majority of USA fans would say that he did a fine job. I think Steve Stricker did a very fine job with picking his team. What Steve did was he tailored a little bit more towards how are these guys going to play Whistling Straits, right? He's looking at more so not skill level, not veteran leadership, not, has he played in a Ryder Cup before? It's none of that. It was more, I think they have 4 rookies. It was more how well have they played whenever the tournament is at Whistling Straits. And so, if you ask me, I'm a little bit more, I like the story. I like it a little bit more than the actual match. Like, no disrespect to guys like Harris English, but I'd just rather watch a guy like Patrick Reed be in the Ryder Cup for Team USA than a guy like Harris English, who I think I've seen him smile once, maybe. I don't really know. There's just no emotion out of that man. There's just absolutely nothing. With Patrick Reed, whether or not you like Patrick Reed, if he's in the Ryder Cup, he's going to catch your eye. You're going to want to watch him. He's must-watch TV in the Ryder Cup. And I think he does a very good job with just kind of being that main voice, just being that. He's almost like the Draymond Green. He's like the glue of the USA golf team, and he's had his issues in the past. He's called out Tiger Woods. He's in cheating scandals. He just had pneumonia. So I think for this year, it makes a little bit of sense that Patrick Reed is not in it. But here are the picks. It's Harris English, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Xander Schauffele, Daniel Berger, and Tony Finau. Now, I made a joke on Instagram if Steve could make a more boring list. But if you're looking at talent, especially if you're looking at talent at Whistling Straits, a lot of these guys are great picks. Specifically, Daniel Berger, Tony Finau. Daniel Berger is just, honestly, since the PGA Tour came back from Corona in the spring of 2020, Daniel Berger has just been a really consistent golfer. And so I think, especially at Whistling Straits, same thing going with Tony Finau. Tony Finau is red hot right now. And I think, especially given his history at Whistling Straits, I think those 2 picks were perfect. I think those 2 picks were just absolutely perfect. I saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter saying, over Harris English and Daniel Berger, or even Scotty, I would have rather had, even Sam Burns. I saw somebody want Sam Burns. Phil Mickelson, Kevin Kisner, Kevin Na seem to be kind of the main, and then obviously Patrick Reed. Those guys seem to be kind of the main group of these guys should have made it. Kevin Kisner, honestly, realistically, I don't think he was ever a debate. I think that was just more of a joke. I like Kevin Kisner. I think he's a really cool person. As far as the 6 captains picks that Steve went, I just would rather honestly have all 6 of them over Kevin Kisner. Skill-wise, I think this USA team is pretty good. It's just Europe's had their way with them in the last, it feels like the last decade at least. It's just every time I watch the Ryder Cup, it's Europe. And I look at guys like Jordan Spieth, Xander Schauffele, those are two phenomenal golfers. The reason I'm just not too big on the captain's picks are just they're boring. My captain's picks, I would have gotten rid of Harris English, Scotty Scheffler, probably put in Patrick Reed, Kevin Kisner. But as far as Stricker's game plan going, like I said, you're playing the course. And that's what he went with. Jordan Spieth, Xander Schauffele. Obviously, Xander Schauffele won a gold medal. Jordan Spieth picked up a win this year. Those two golfers, they're ready to go. Those guys just kind of honestly bleed USA. Those two players are perfect. They're just not the most fun to watch every week. Scotty Scheffler, first Ryder Cup. I can't wait to see what Scotty can do. He is one of the, if not the most consistent young golfer on tour. I mean, it is literally, I think you could make an argument Sung J M as well, but it's just week after week after week. Scotty Scheffler, you see his name, whether it's making a cut, whether it's top 10, whether it's a top 5, top 25, it doesn't matter. You'll see Scotty Scheffler's name at the end of the tournament with the made cut. And so I think Scotty is just a nice, safe pick. Harris English has had a phenomenal year. And I've given Harris a lot of shit on our podcast just because, as I was talking earlier in the video, I mean, the man is just extremely boring. Like, he just does not do it for me in any way, shape, or form. He's so boring to me. But he is playing red hot. He also won on the tour this year. I think it's a great pick as far as, obviously, when Steve Stricker makes his picks, he's not like, what are the fans going to like the most? He's trying to win the Ryder Cup. So as far as winning the Ryder Cup, I think that these 6 are probably the best you could have assembled. Obviously, you can make the argument with Patrick Reed. I just think everything that's happened with Patrick Reed, especially the pneumonia and the hospitalization and all that just randomness going on, I think that's good. He's not in it. And then Kevin Kisner, Kevin Na, it would be really cool, but I just don't think skill-wise I could realistically put them ahead of any of those 6. Phil Mickelson, honestly, would have been super cool. Like, Phil has been playing in the Ryder Cups for a very, very long time. Some of the people he has played with in the Ryder Cup would shock your mind. They would shock your mind. So we talked about that on the podcast. But I think Phil, all he did really this year was win the PGA. Steve Stricker picked reliable, consistent golfers, and I think that's really going to help out Team USA. So my prediction is still that Europe gets the job done. They have just so much. They have the perfect blend of veterans and young talent, and it just seems like the way that they have had the last couple of years, it seems like they're just going to win it again. So I'd love to hear your guys' predictions down below. Give me your rating on the captain's picks. I'd go ahead and give them a 7 out of 10. Drop that down below. Peace.